Hello there. This is my subscriber update number 3. I can't believe I just watched the second one and realised it's actually just over a year to the date. It's about 53 weeks since my last subscriber update, which feels a little rude really, after doing 2 and then just peeling off the internet for my subscriber updates for a year. Where do I start? When I last did this, we hadn't released Stronger. We hadn't released the full album, Laps Around the Sun, yet. Hadn't started this world tour. This whole year has been massive. Last time, around this time, is almost the exact point I first did my shows in North America. I'm back right now in LA, just pre-tour. This has been a huge year, absolutely huge year. So since we last talked, I released a new album. It's called Laps Around the Sun, and it's been so well received. Really, to think that hasn't even been out a whole year is just insane. It's been really nice because as a singer-songwriter, particularly with the sort of support I had with Land and Sea, it's kind of, it was daunting to bring out a new album. People really took care of my older songs, and I felt like Laps Around the Sun was a push again into really being a singer-songwriter, not just a folk musician. But it's been so well received, and we've been on a massive touring run. It's probably on this Laps Around the Sun world tour. It's been so far. We did how many did we do in Australia? 30 something. Well, there must have been more. And then Europe, we did 28 dates in 45 days. So yeah, first things first, the Australian run was really good. Right now, obviously, getting prepped for the end of year shows, which are just ginormous. Doing a couple shows at the Theban Theatre in Adelaide, doing a show at the Fremantle Arts Centre in Perth, doing the Sydney Mime Music Bowl in Melbourne, doing the Hordern Pavilion in Sydney, and River Stage in Brisbane. So that's pretty wild. Particularly, they had some very big shows on this. The shows summer 18, early 19, but nothing at this size. So this is going to be a really special tour coming up. So it's really cool. I'm really glad to be playing back in Australia at the end of the year. After those Australian shows in the summer that ended around February, March, came to Europe and did those 28 shows in 45 days. I was really nervous about that because that's a lot of shows. It's a long weekend here. People are loving it. I think they're playing beer pong next door. Yeah, I played those 28 dates in 45 days, and that was just huge. I was a bit nervous vocally and playing wise, how you do that many shows, but it was our first time on a tour bus, so that was really good. And then we took some time off in Portugal, which is beautiful, and came back to America, and the Americas, Canada, and the States. And it was really good. The first run of shows, I did a lot of festivals, which was really interesting because I had some big headline shows, but I had a lot of festivals where I was kind of new guy again. So that was really fun because it kind of took me back to busking days, which was really good. And I haven't done a festival run really ever. There's a lot of really good folk festivals over here, a lot of really good kind of just festivals over here with good singer-songwriter circles and stuff like that, so that was really cool. I came back to Australia obviously to play Splendour. Thank you for everybody who came out. It was packed. It was really, I felt like it was a really beautiful moment. I had 4 months away. We'd done over 50 shows while we were away. It was a big stint, so to come back home and to play such a good slot at the GW at Splendor, and just have everybody singing so loud. It was really surreal. It was, yeah, the biggest show I'd ever done, so that was really, to pull that off was really sweet. And I love being back in the wintertime in Australia. It's a really good time of year, I think, on the East Coast, and so I had lots of really good downtime with loved ones, and which is important because that 4 month stint away was huge. Like, I didn't kind of realize till I finished. There was a lot of there's a lot of underlying subliminal pressure that to stay really healthy, because you know how much you got on, and so it was really good to get that downtime for the last month. And now this is my first week, or maybe this is week 2 in North America. I got another 20 shows coming up. If you wanted to come along, you can find tickets via the link in my bio. La 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 la. But it's going to be really good. Back on the West Coast this time. Yeah, it's going to be a really good run of shows. I think it's going to be really sweet. I think this run has no festivals comparative to the last one. So it's nice. It mixes things up. And as you would have seen, we just released Intentions, a new single. And I think it's shocked a couple of people. But there's a lot of my songwriting history and a lot of my influence history that's like that lends into rap, and I think it was just one of these songs that didn't force to write. I wasn't even trying to go in a direction. It's just a song that came out, and I think that it was even a song that's a little daunting for me to release personally, because usually I release songs, I write songs in a way that people can place them in their own lives, whereas talks about touring, and it talks about jumping time zones, and it talks about things that are so specific to my life. I think that's also what is daunting, is to write so much about that, like where I'm at right now. But things that scare you are probably things you should do. So I'm really stoked. It's been picked up a heap on radio, which is like the first time I've had radio play in Australia, but it's getting played all around the world right now. So thanks for everyone who's picked it up, and thank you guys for listening and getting into it. I know what it's like with my favorite artists when they release something different, but that's the whole point of remaining independent, is that this was something I was passionate to release, and this is a song that I just felt like it was the next single to do, and that's what's really cool about being independent, is you make those decisions and you leverage on your artistic freedom, and that's something I think that you guys will always want from me with my music, is that I'm just releasing what feels right for me to release. You know, you can always play it safe with your songs, but this song I wrote in the summertime, and it was kind of based on where my life's at the moment, and you can hear some pretty funny references. One day there's a bit of a number theme that will happen with the next releases that you guys will get some insight into, or you'll figure out yourself. I think the number reference in this one's pretty obvious, about the girl who inspired the first verse, but I can't wait to kind of incorporate some of this number theme into my new releases coming out. So looking forward, I have this run of shows in America. I have some massive dates in Australia at the end of the year. I've already got my European dates on sale for 2020. If you want to come back to some shows in Europe, I'll be there. And I have a new music video coming out within the next week or two, so keep your eyes peeled. Just want to say thank you, because from the last time I kind of did this, there's been such an immense growth in my career, but I think the quality's really maintained the same. I'm playing as good as shows I've ever played, and people are really engaged, and people are looking after each other in the crowds, and that's really important to me. So thank you for being along for the ride. I might go down and just do some writing. I'm in a room right now, and I get a little weirded out by being in rooms for a long time. So, but things are really good here. Feeling in pretty good nick health-wise for the upcoming shows, which is something that I was pretty concerned about. With now, it's up to like I said, we will clock in over 100 shows from December 2018 through to December 2019, and that's really daunting. But I've been doing a really good job, have really good support around me, and doing a good job of keep on top of health stuff, and thankfully my loved ones keep me in line. So, but thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and wishing you well. Hope you and the family are in good health wherever you are, and I'll see you guys in an upcoming show.